Unprecedented amounts of rainfall across Scotland yesterday. There is more to come across Scotland and through England as we head through today and tomorrow. And the rain easing through Scotland today, but those river levels continue to rise with more rainfall as we head into the weekend.
Well,
there's others involved.
Thank the Adams family today. She's miles away because she's concentrating. There's red warnings out
yeah,
there.
there's a big weather story
Talking about
going
you.
on.
Oh, OK, good. Sorry, we've got flood warnings have just updated.
Oh, they've updated.
OK, we'll come to that. Well, let's hope it's not wet and wild.
Concentrating. It's very unusual. So they've updated the flood warnings?
Yep, so the rain falls and then it takes a while for that to get into the rivers and for them to start to rise. So even when the rain eases later on today, the situation is going to get worse with these flood warnings going up and up and up. So we still are in the grips of our red weather warning. We talked about it yesterday and they are issued because there is a risk to life, and we have already unfortunately seen one fatality. And it is down to the colossal and unprecedented amount of rain that we had falling across the UK yesterday, particularly across Scotland. So I actually wanted to just show you how much rain fell across Scotland yesterday. So on average, we had around about 5 centimetres of rain falling across the whole of Scotland. It might not sound like very much, but that volume of rainfall equates to 1.6 billion Olympic-sized swimming... 1.6 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. That is the amount of rain that fell across Scotland yesterday, and this is likely to be a conservative estimate. And all of this rain has to go somewhere, and a lot of it goes into rivers. So at the moment, these are the latest flood warnings across Scotland. 12 flood alerts, the lowest level of warning, 16 flood warnings, but 4 severe flood warnings. One of those on the river, where Jonathan Swain is this morning, which is set to peak this morning, and it could well be the highest level that river has ever recorded. Not just Scotland seeing this rainfall, also England. And England, we now have 100 flood alerts. That's just gone up, 11 flood warnings. And all of these will continue to rise as we head through today and tomorrow with yet more rain falling. We've seen huge waves crashing into the coast. The advice from the RNLI is to stay away from the coast. They are treacherous and extremely dangerous. Roads, as we've seen, are completely impassable. And again, the advice is don't drive through floodwaters. 30 centimetres is enough to float your car. Unfortunately, things get a lot worse before they get better. Here's the details. So our red weather warning remains in force today across southeastern parts of Scotland until midday today. But there are many other weather warnings in force. But first of all, I want to show you how much rain we've seen fall. And these are just spot values. One location has seen 160 millimetres of rain, so 16 millimetres. And if we look at that compared to the highest we've ever seen across Scotland, our daily rainfall total, the maximum, was 216. And so we could well see these records being broken. This was the rainfall radar from overnight last night, moving its way northwards, but it's the feed-in across the northeast of Scotland that has been relentless. Now, as we head through the next few days, many weather warnings in force. Yellows and ambers across eastern areas in particular, the red in force until midday today for up to 250 millimetres of rain falling. That's a third of a year's worth of rainfall in just a day. We continue to see those weather warnings in force as we head through the rest of Friday and on into Saturday as well. And the whole of the weekend weather remains very unsettled. Today, we actually start to see the rain easing a little across the east of Scotland, not quite as strong or powerful as it has been so far yesterday and overnight. But this is how it looks for today. Easing conditions, improving the rain, easing, but river levels are likely to rise. The focus for today is heavy rain, eastern areas of Scotland and northern areas of Wales. Tonight, we then see that rain feeding back into Scotland, feeding in as we head through the whole of Saturday. So we're likely to see further warnings being upgraded as we head through today and into tomorrow. Good morning to you. Storm Babette continues to bring torrential, in fact, exceptional amounts of rainfall across the UK, especially Scotland. We have our red weather warning in force still. And this radar sequence shows what happened overnight with this whole band of rain moving northwards. But it's the relentless feed into eastern Scotland. We have our red warning that's the issue. We saw some places up to 160 millimetres of rain in 24 hours. That is near record. And as a result, we have many flood warnings in force. So these are the Scottish flood warnings. 12 flood alerts, the lowest level, 16 flood warnings, but 4 severe flood warnings, and that is where we have danger to life. Now, Jonathan Swain this morning, England as well, they are continuing to rise. 103 flood alerts here, 16 flood warnings, no severe flood warnings here in force at the moment. But with the rain falling and the rivers taking a while to get that water, those river levels continuing to rise, and these will go up. Now back to my weather warnings. So there are many of them in force as we head through the day, particularly through eastern areas. The red warning expires about midday today, and by this afternoon, many red and amber warnings in force, and they continue across large parts of the UK into tomorrow as well. So many weather warnings in force. Your local weather will give you much more detail where you are. Here is what's happening for the rest of the day. Welcome news for Scotland. The rain starts to ease, and the focus for today's heavy rainfall is across eastern areas of England, and not just wet. It's worth pointing out strong winds, 60 to 70 miles an hour, and that will cause trees to come down, blocking roads, branches coming down, blocking drains, exacerbating the situation. We've already heard of evacuations in eastern Scotland, where unfortunately by tomorrow more rain is set to move in, so the situation here will get a lot worse before it gets better. Many more homes without power and widespread travel disruption.